We're rolling.
Hey Gooners, welcome to Super Despair World, the #1 upcoming big homo psyop in North America. I am one of your hosts, the middling artist and unfunny trans dipshit Absentia, but for the purpose of this podcast friendship simulator to work, you can just call me Briar. I'm an illustrator of zero acclaim, and every week I'm going to be guiding us on this journey through the depths of the internet.
Yeah, and I'm Dave. You could find me as Farstrider FM online. I'm a D-tier content creator and amateur internet anthropologist.
Yeah, truly in this wonderful internet that we live in today, we're all creating content, capital C content of some kind. And in line with that, this is our premiere episode of Super Despair World, the show where we're going to gaze into the abyss and come away with a better understanding of the world's weirdos. We're looking at bizarre subcultures like weird fandoms, types of posters on the internet. We're going to look at some stuff in real life too, but you know, everything nowadays truly is corrupted by the mess we've made online.
Yeah, this is like a people's history of the world by Howard Zinn, but through the eyes of incels and blue check Twitter users.
Yeah, and truly, I think it's only a matter of time before one day our show is looked at with all the sort of like critical acclaim as Howard Zinn's writing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, before we start off, I just want to be clear. This show is not going to be strictly like some kind of like cringe show, although a lot of the people and things we're talking about are very cringy. I think the goal of this show is we want to walk away with a bit more of an understanding, whether that understanding leads us to like appreciate people we didn't before, or have a new, more solidified scorn for the people that make our lives worse. It could go either way with every episode.
Yeah, as much as I wanted to make a cringe TikTok React channel, I guess it's just like really not in the cards, huh?
Yeah, I guess not. Although for this first episode, I guess we're gonna really start off on a low note. Today we're looking at just something that's really been at the forefront of our minds and our feeds and the comment sections everywhere. We're looking at the subculture of what we broadly know as blue checks on Twitter, and just the different kinds of weird guy that make that up.
The modern day aristocrat, if you will.
Yeah, and unlike the aristocrats of the past, well, the ending is still yet to be written on these. But yeah, we're opening the show. We're looking at some weird guys. It was about a year ago, before the time of this recording, where we had this big event, this big thing that shook the internet, where Elon Musk got his grubby little hands all over Twitter, and you know, we could sit here and dissect all the different like weird changes and like the ways that the site has gotten worse. But truly, I think everyone agrees that the worst thing about the website now is there's a certain type of person who can just like pay $8, and now you have to see them, you have to read their opinions. They're at the top of every comment section, and there's no escape.
As far as all of the terrible changes to that site, by the way, it's X. Come on.
Oh, X.com.
Yeah,
sorry,
X.com.
I shouldn't.
Yeah.
Let's not dead name.
The
social
we can't
media
dead name
giant.
Twitter. Like we still need to be respectful of its wishes. But
only good things start with the letter X, like X videos or ex-wife or.
Yes, right, exactly. But yeah, as far as all of the terrible changes to that, what was once a wonderful site that nobody ever had any problems with, the blue check boosting thing has definitely been the worst, because you are forced to see the worst opinions that you could ever possibly see under every post, no matter what.
Yeah, you know, I've always been kind of like a pessimist when it comes to social media. I think it rots your brain. I think it's been a net negative for the world. I think it makes us all hate each other a little bit more than we might otherwise. But, you know, the thing about social media is like there are healthy and non-healthy ways to engage with it. Like there's this whole idea of curating your feed. And I like to think that in the past, I've been pretty good about doing that. Like when I'm on Twitter, I mostly just follow like other artists and like creative people and like shit posters. Like I just go there to have a good time. But like with the way the blue check system works nowadays, it's almost impossible to like completely curate your experience, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's completely fucked now. There's my thing is like with social media in general, and especially Twitter really amplified all of this. It was kind of the thing is like before it was like, yeah, you shouldn't use social media too much. It's bad, but it's also so fun and it's so addictive. And now lately it's just like been like, I would go on Twitter for a moment or Instagram or like TikTok or something. It's just like, this is not only bad, but it sucks and it's not fun anymore. And I think a lot of people, I think I'm not alone in just this like total burnout on all of these platforms. And I really think the Elon Twitter thing was the death knell for the for the modern social media milieu.
Yeah, it really seems like like I said, we could go into the history of all the different little changes, and don't get me wrong, there are like at least 100 different little things that have made the site worse, but I think it's the inability to curate your own feed and get away from the stuff you really don't want to see anymore that's made Twitter just like completely unbearable, right?
Yeah, and that's even the thing about TikTok, and that's kind of what was funny about TikTok is I was always very resistant to ever using that app. I was like, fuck that shit. Like I've seen you see clips and it's just like 16-year-olds dancing and like lip syncing to a Taylor Swift song and like with
the only
cringy,
The only time I ever look at TikTok is when I am exposed to a TikTok video on a different website. I haven't bit the bullet and made an actual TikTok account yet, but I feel like I might eventually.
So that's the thing is I was very resistant to it, and then somebody was like, hey, like I know, but like spend 10 minutes on TikTok, just get rid of the shit you don't want to see and then stay on the shit you do, and like actively cultivate your feed, and their algorithm is really good. And I was like, all right, I'll see if you're full of shit or not. And they were right. And this was, I don't know when I got on TikTok, maybe a year ago. I really have no idea, but it was totally true. Like I ended up seeing just like things that I actually thought were interesting, creator stuff and like actual funny stuff, and like a little bit of lefty politics, but not too annoying, and some cats and stuff like that. It was cool, but I noticed somewhat recently that I was getting fed more like stupid ass bullshit that is just so that's just that like the things that people think of when they think of TikTok, like the TikTok haters, myself included, just like fucking 19-year-olds trying to give people life advice and shit, like in just like corny lip syncing stuff, and like that feeling when your boyfriend doesn't text you back, and it's like a girl like lip syncing to like the Stranger Things scene or something like that. And I was just like, what do you got? Like, that's the only thing you had going for you, and now you're gonna ruin that? Like, did you just fuck up your algorithm? Did I do that? I don't really know what's going on. But and that's kind of the thing. You really don't know what's going on behind the scenes with all these platforms.
Yeah, and it's really fair that you say you don't know how much time has passed, because that's kind of the sensation I get when I am scrolling through this like short form video content type stuff. Like I've looked at a little bit of YouTube shorts, and it really feels like just entering the fucking hyperbolic time chamber from like Dragon Ball or some shit, where like you just start scrolling a video and then you watch another video, and like 3 hours passed and you have no recollection of like the myriad different things you've seen, and it's like, what am I doing to my brain? What is the effect of consuming this?
It's such fucking slop too. And the fucked up thing is like I would like actually defend TikTok at one point in my life, and I would be like, no, actually, like I did find like this cool like VST music plugin for my workflow, and like it was pretty good. And it's like it's kind of the opposite of like the whole thing where like you only remember remember the bad and you don't remember the good. It was like vice versa, where it's like I ignored the 25 minutes I spent just looking through absolute dog shit because I like learned something for 15 seconds on TikTok.
Yeah, and I'm not like wholly 100% against algorithms. I feel like this word comes up a lot nowadays. The algorithm. Everything is fed to us with this like complicated like black box of code that we're not really like privy to. But the thing is, like when you look at something like TikTok, at least from my like outsider perspective, I get this idea that like, okay, TikTok seems like it's a machine that's made to like feed you things that you like and that you want to see more of. Like you hit like on a video that you enjoy, and it's like, okay, I'll show you more of that, right? But I have a good experience with algorithms in other places too. Like the YouTube algorithm has been notoriously pretty bad about like plugging like weird, like far right Nazi types.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If you ever look up any gaming video, but at the same time, for some reason, the YouTube algo is also like pretty good at showing me new music that I want to listen to. I don't know. It'll always bring up stuff like I've never heard of, and it usually ends up being decent.
I think most of the bitching about the algorithm is from creators, and they think it's like this us versus them. Like, I'm fighting against the algorithm to get my video shown. But like, you don't like algorithms? Open up a private window on your web browser and go to the front page of YouTube. That's what you're gonna get without an algorithm, baby.
It's gonna be like nothing but Mr. Beast Skibbity Toilet.
Yeah,
like,
Mr. Beast Skibbity Toilet, SNL clips, CNN things, and
Among Us in the back rooms.
Gone sexual. And then and you can watch SSS Sniper Wolf do TikTok reacts. Like this is what you could have, because that is what the front page of these sites are. And so like algorithms don't have to be bad, but they also can.
They don't have to be bad, but when we're as we move into our topic today of Twitter, I mean X.com, formerly known as Twitter, I think we're going to be exploring the dark side of this algorithm, which is the system of blue check marks and how it pushes all just the worst shit to your to the top of your feed. Like we could go over an entire history of like the history of the Twitter verification system and how it used to apply to like people who like arguably actually matter, who you might actually want to know is like the real deal. But now anybody can just buy one of those. And I think today we're going to be looking at like, what is the type of person who wants that kind of attention? What drives somebody to lay down those $8 to get to the top of everyone's feed?
Well, I think originally the point of it, if I'm not mistaken, was just like, so you can't impersonate like Mark Ruffalo or something. So it's like, I'm the real like Mark Ruffalo.
There was like some big baseball manager guy who like sued Twitter, and I think Kanye got really mad about it in like 2008 or some shit like that.
Yeah, which is why it was incredibly funny when you could pay for blue checks and just everybody was making like impersonation quote unquote parody accounts, which were just like Elon Musk like 10 spaces down after it gets cut off by the character limit parody.
Yeah, right before.
Like, yeah, I'm fingering myself in the ass right now.
Yeah, and some notorious posters would get banned for like reposting that photo of him and Ghislaine Maxwell at the Epstein Island.
Oh yeah. Just amazing stuff. Like totally not thought through at all. But now we get to see like the best humans in the world, and you can instantly see who is really cool and who is against free speech by seeing if they have a blue check next to their account.
Yeah, like in the past, there was a different perception of what the blue check mark was, but it was mostly just like some really like annoying like journalist academic types who are like, okay, you come onto here to post like your opinion, and we all have to read it and get like a little, and you get your little paycheck or something. But you know that era is long gone, and I think in the past there was this perception maybe that, oh, these people have the blue check mark, so it's the blue check itself that gives them power. So now I can just buy the blue check mark, and now I am someone notable and important in spite of still having like 300 followers and no real attention.
It's a true proletariat revolution, and it brings tears to my eye every time I see it.
I mean, that was what Musk said. He said some shit. It was like power to the people in like Latin or some shit, because that sounds smarter when you write
it was something Vox Populi. I remember
Vox
that.
Populi, Vox Dei, or something like that.
Man, it's so funny to watch him post stuff, because it reminds me of things I thought was cool when I was like 13, and that's a grown ass man. So.
He's
damn.
like in his 50s now, I think, and it feels like he really has not matured past like the mentality of like a middle schooler.
I should be a billionaire is basically what I'm saying. I have the mindset for it, I guess.
Yeah, like the word man-child really gets thrown around like pretty liberally, but I've never met someone who like the term applies better to
I think it
than
fits.
Elon Musk.
Yeah, I think it fits. Definitely.
Like all the times where he would post like, here's what's on my dresser next to my bed, and it's like some shitty like sci-fi movie like Prop Gun and like the Constitution.
There was never a better use of the Simpsons, like Milhouse's dad. Like, I have a race car bed, and Homer's like, yeah, I sleep in a big bed with my wife.
Yeah, that's I think that must be like a core element of his personality too. I feel like maybe this is like a whole archetype of guy. It's the divorced guy. Like
the divorce dad. Yeah.
Is a
divorce dad.
Divorce is like divorce has swept across America's like older guys. Like crack hit like the black neighborhood in the 80s, right? Like it has been, some people just get divorced and then they are like never the same. Like there's Musk, there's like Kanye, there's probably some other ones, but those are the big two.
Well, I think maybe it has to do with like, so you see like the boomer humor comics where it's like, my fucking bitch wife.
I hate my wife.
Yeah, I fucking hate my
the
wife.
old ball and chain.
It's just not even jokes. It's just like his wife is like in the corner. He's like, you're a fucking bitch and I hate you. But like
as opposed to like millennial Zoomer humor, which is like, I love my like puppy made boy wife.
I'm gonna kill myself because there was a minor inconvenience today.
I had to make a phone call. Now I'm sad.
But the difference, I think the difference is like a lot of like older boomers, it was still not in their culture to get divorced. So they would just marry somebody they fucking hate, and then they would just like bitch about them for the rest of their lives. But now these guys, they have the freedom to get divorced, and they do. And then what do they do after that? Go on the fucking Joe Rogan podcast and start talking some dumbass shit.
It's not just that your wife left you because she didn't like you. It's because she was canceling you for
yeah. She became woke and I got canceled. Come listen to my podcast.
Neither of us have been divorced, thankfully, but once it happens, this show is going to take a real turn for the worse.
No, it's not going to happen. I'm not getting married. I'm anti-marriage.
That's cool.
I'm way objector.
I'm way too gay to ever get like divorced in the traditional sense.
Oh,
so
true.
I guess we'll be good.
You would dissolve your common law partnership in the communist state of Canada.
There would be like a union uprising in like the queer commune, and it would end with like several fields of corn burning at night.
Yeah, I mean that's cool. That's the future that Marx envisioned. So I'm with that.
Truly, there's never been a more proletarian podcast. This is the People's Show.
I'll officiate
Twitter.
your wedding for sure.
All right. Well, there'll be at least a couple weddings, but we can go over that in the future.
Gotcha. Okay. Starting a polycule. Gotcha.
Right. All right. So we were talking about Elon Musk and like what he's done for like, he's kind of been like this rallying figure for a type of guy. And like, that's been true for like maybe the last 10 years or so. But like the exact type of guy that comes to really worship Elon Musk has changed over time. Like originally, I think there was like this stereotype of like the Redditor, right? The kind of like nerdy guy. Maybe he works in tech.
The neck
he
beard.
wants to
the neck beard.
Yeah, a little bit of that. Maybe he like moderates some like weird subreddit, like watch kids die or something like that. Something that gets on the news. You know, I watched the segment where that guy was on the news, and he really does look exactly like what you think he would, right?
Oh, 100%. That's the thing, is sometimes I really think there is like a pedo phrenology. It's much. I don't want to get too far into like skull measuring here, but like it reminds me of that guy from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, the Mr. Rooney or whatever. And I remember being like a teenager, and I was like, that dude like looks real sus, man. Like he looks like he drives that windowless white van around. And then
I think back to the guy on It's Always Sunny who's like obsessed with his hands.
Oh, okay.
You never saw that?
I don't remember. I don't think I remember that one.
He was like the hand model or something, and every time they take a photo of him, he's holding up the back of his hands. Never mind. It's a guy look. You know, I try not to like rag on people's appearance too much, but I really think there is some level of truth where like, I think if you're ugly on the inside, it kind of reflects on the outside, right?
True,
That's like the classic saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's hard to draw an exact line on that, but going back to this, the type of guy, the classic Redditor, that was like the sort of person that really liked Elon Musk back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Back when he didn't talk as much in public, and it was easier to like pretend, oh, maybe he really is like some kind of like good-natured like engineer, like autistic nerd genius who just happens to be very rich and is funding all these good projects back before more people knew better.
right
But that's kind of changed over time, right? Because like while Musk used to be really popular with like kind of like tech nerd, like libertarian kind of centrist libby sort of guys, he's really taken this like hard turn over to the right in the last couple of years. And I think at least part of that had to coincide with him getting divorced in public. But there was also like the Trump years where he wanted to really like suck up to those guys as well. And now like the character of the type of people that really like Elon Musk has like really drifted in that overall direction too.
Didn't Trump like call him a bitch and say like he'll do anything I fucking tell him to?
I think his exact words were something like he came to me and begged like a dog.
And this that's the thing. This is what you get for like cozying up to fucking assholes. Like these guys think like, oh, I'm gonna get political clout and power, and like they're fucking psychopaths, just like even worse than you. And then they're just like, yeah, fuck this dude. I'm gonna embarrass him in public just because I can.
Well, in a lot of ways, I definitely think Musk is like exceptional among billionaires, mostly in regards to like how stupid and like child-brained he is. And in the same way, I also think Trump is pretty exceptional. Probably in like how like funny he can be, but probably not in 100% the intended way. I don't know. He's just a very funny person overall.
Oh,
just every interaction
absolutely.
is it's just a bunch of like sharks going at each other's throats, and it's fun to watch.
Absolutely,
but not so fun to live with.
Yeah, but like Elon is very unique in the sense that like all he had to do was keep his fucking mouth shut and keep the grift going. And it could be fine because like dudes like Bezos and like Bill Gates and the Koch brothers and shit like that, you gotta like, it's not that hard to dig to find why they're pieces of shit. But like Elon, like you could be completely apolitical. You could be not. You don't have to be a socialist. You could be like, yeah, actually, capitalism has its benefits. But in still, it's just like it's really hard at this point to like for anybody to deny that Elon Musk is like a fucking joke of a human being. Like it's so plain to see. He's really fucked himself on that one.
Yeah, like I've thought about this often because like you and I are built different, right? Like one day we're going to be rolling in like millions and millions of dollars in that like Joe Rogan like podcasting.
Oh,
wealth, right?
without question. I hear the listeners opening their wallets already, and we haven't even released this yet.
Right. And if that interests you, drop a comment below on how much money you want to throw in our laps. But the point is, like, if we had that level of wealth, we would just, like, sit down and shut up, right? Like, we would never do anything to, like, compromise it.
Without question.
But you never see this with these types of people because, like, it's never enough for them. It's always this, like, competition to rise to the top and put everybody else below you. And no matter how much, like, obscene wealth you have, it's never enough. And I think this is a trend. This is like a core element of the type of guy that makes up the blue check mark, right? Because they're not just in it to like get a little bit ahead. They want the attention from like their internet father figure, right?
Right.
They want the clout. They want to be famous. They want to have their like shitty little opinions heard. And I think no matter whether you're like some dipshit like at the bottom of the barrel that's just paying $8 a month for a blue check mark, or you're like Elon Musk himself, like it's never enough. These people will never be satisfied with anything they have. And I think that's a core part of what the blue check mark dude is nowadays.
And I think we can start at the bottom of the blue check mark pool where it's just the regular Joe Schmo dickhead who gets a blue check and is like, I'm here. Like now I'm in the club. And it's usually like a lot of them are like it's this weird runoff of like the Redditor libertarian like futurist tech dude.
They've got like the American flag emoji in
yeah.
Their bio says something like, if I offended you, I win.
or like you always go to their profiles and it's like opinions are my own. It's like that's nothing to be proud of, my friend. But yeah, it's those dudes, and those guys are the ones who will always they'll be in the comments and the replies and they'll be like, what have you done? He made science real, and what do you do? Fucking loser.
What color is your Bugatti?
Exactly. Well, that's a different blue check. That's a different blue check. But they're all related.
That connects them.
Yeah, they're all connected in a certain way. But and then there's like the Bangladeshi dude who's just like, yes, Elon, very good, awesome. Please give me a job. And those guys are just kind of sad. Like honestly, it's like, damn, dude. Like,
on the one hand, they are kind of sad,
yeah.
But also like those are one of the types of guys who it's hardest to tell if they're real or if they're just bot accounts.
True.
Because, he buys tons of bots to look more popular than he is.
True. But I think those dudes, they do reflect a certain like reflection of culture in the sense of like, there's really like, obviously the American dream is dead and every offshoot of that is completely transparently fucking not going to happen for anyone. So now, in this applies to a lot of the blue check archetypes. Is like these dudes are like, well, clearly, like I can't have success by like getting a job and like being promoted. All I can do is just cozy up to some like billionaire grifter or something like that, and try to just like scam a bunch of money by having some bullshit like tech job or something like that.
Yeah, it's this pursuit of like an easy solution to very difficult problems.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I think that's a big part of why people really like Elon Musk, because it's not just like, oh, he's a rich guy doing cool things. It's always been like, no, he's a rich guy who's going to save the world. He's like this like fucking Christ figure for like weird lonely guys with nothing else going for them.
And I do really wonder, like during the Gilded Age, were there like John D. Rockefeller dick riders, like just like iron workers who were like, fuck yeah, dude, like all I need to do is go shake hands with that guy once. and I'll be on feather beds in a fucking mansion. Like that's it. Like that's gonna be me someday. Was there more class consciousness then, or like how could you know? Because there wasn't Twitter in the fucking 1920s.
Well, I mean, I guess like that's probably like the entire history of like monarchy in Europe, right?
Right.
It's either the people who are like really weird about the royal family, or like fucking like Dickensian orphans, like, please sir, can I have just 1 shilling to sweep your chimney, or something like. Those are the two types of people in the UK for like most of history.
and then there was a communist who just got like mowed down by the police for just like existing.
Yeah, the long extinct British communist
for asking for a collective 1 more shilling so that they could like eat food.
Yeah, there's definitely more types of British people nowadays, but let's save that for another time.
Yeah, we'll do a whole episode on types of British people. We'll get an actual Brit on here to as a consultant.
The show is going to raise a budget to export me to the UK and hope that I make it back alive.
Yeah, I mean,
be like a wilderness safari.
We'll start a GoFundMe for that.
Exactly. Yeah, but going back to this, we were talking about there's this element of like the worship of wealth, and these people want like quick and easy solutions. And I think that's like a good little segue into the first type of guy that I really want to talk about, which is like the NFT crypto guys, because that really popped off in like the last year or two, right?
Oh yeah. And as a preface, I'm not too proud to say I used to be into crypto. I'm just going to say it right now. I used to be into crypto. I adopted Bitcoin back when it was like $500 a coin. I used to use it when I lived overseas to send remittance to my mother to pay some bills that I had. And I thought it was interesting. Like we did that. I kept a few coins. I made a few grand off of it. It helped me pay a deposit for an apartment one time. And then I very quickly realized that it's fucking stupid. It's pointless. And there's a bunch of better ways to do literally everything that crypto does right now, except for like buying drugs and money laundering, which if you're into that kind of thing, then yeah, crypto, let's fucking go. But as far as speculation on crypto, it being the future of payments and technology, it's never gonna happen.
No, never. Yeah, I think like the first time I heard about crypto had to be like sometime back in like the 2010s, where it was like just this like fringe nerd thing on Reddit, and it's like, oh yeah, some guys made like this electronic currency, and like there's a website for like buying drugs and like illegal shit, and ooh, it's like a little novelty. But like, I think this was like a good long while before there was like a proper like culture around crypto. There wasn't really a type of like crypto guy other than maybe like some like low-key criminal who like had the better sense to not like post about it.
Oh, for sure. Like when I first, that's part of it too, is when I first got into it, there wasn't, it was definitely not in the mainstream. Like, and there wasn't like the crypto bro archetype did not exist. It was just some people, it was just a bunch of nerds on like in like fringe internet forums and shit who were just like talking about this and like, hey, how do we do this? And there was a few exchanges and there was some other stuff, but it wasn't until like, I don't even know when it was, like maybe like 2016 or something like that. And I was living in Korea at the time, and like that's when a Bitcoin hit like 50 G's a coin or some shit like that. And then it took Asia by storm, because Koreans are they love a good grift once in a while too, and people were like taking out loans and like mortgaging their homes in shit like that, and it was a huge fucking problem. And
like every speculation boom, if you're getting in on it, then it's already too late. You already missed the bus by like a few years.
100%. And then I came back home to the States, and then my friends from like high school were telling me that they were like buying Bitcoin at like 50 grand a coin, or like 60 grand a coin. It's like, you're a fucking idiot, dude. Like, this is it's clearly a bubble, man. But it's all FOMO, you know. It's all FOMO. Like, just people see number get big, they don't want to miss out. You got to get in there, and it's like, no, it's fucking over, dude. It's over. But the crypto bro in general, especially now, they're very interesting because, like, especially the NFT guys, after NFTs have clearly just like completely tanked as the just stupid fucking idea that it always was.
Yeah. As at the time of recording this, there was like an article like a few weeks ago where like 95% of them are worth like $0.00, and the remaining 5% are like worth like $400 or less or something like that.
Yeah, and but they just like refuse to acknowledge anything, and that's kind of been like crypto in general for the past 5 to 10 years or something like, well, maybe not that long, but like 5 years or so, where just like whatever shit coin or NFT or whatever that these people are invested in, they will do mental gymnastics, Olympic gold medal tier mental gymnastics, to just be like, no, actually, the market is correcting itself, and you should get in on the Bored Ape Yacht Club now because it's going to the moon. Hodl, number get big. We're the future.
Diamond
of currency.
hands.
Yeah, if I see anybody with a Bored Ape PFP or .eth in their name, you know that they are the dumbest motherfucker on the planet. That's all you need to know. It's an even easier quantifier than a blue check.
Yeah, for sure. Although I think there's a very big overlap between those guys and blue checks. Especially,
I'm sure they all have blue checks.
You can like hide your blue check now if you don't want people to see, but they're like the transphobes say, we can always tell.
You're just clocking blue checks.
Yeah, like it's a whole type of guy. But there's something you brought up that I really want to zoom in on here, which is this whole thing about the crypto and NFTs. It was like this big speculation bubble, and I think that's another big element of this type of guy, where like they're obsessed with a kind of like idea of value, like something's having like a real monetary or like numerical worth or something like that, but like this value is always like very fleeting and ephemeral, and it kind of just like exists in people's heads. Like the entire reason the crypto NFT shit was like really blown up was because there was like a lot of like venture capital money poured into it to put it all over the internet for like a couple weeks, so everybody would be talking about it, and that did like artificially raise its value for like a few months, maybe a few weeks. It's hard to say, but yeah.
Yeah, and it's an unregulated market. Like, you can just pour shit tons of money into like crypto exchanges and shit like that, and get everybody buying it, and then what do? You fucking dump it. Like, it's so easy. It's a stock exchange with no regulation. Like, if you have millions or billions of dollars, that is a fucking gold mine. That's all you need to do, is you just buy in, pump it up with get Matt Damon on the Coinbase Super Bowl ad, get everybody excited to buy this fucking bullshit that's worth nothing, and then you just dump it immediately. Like, it's very cool. It's really easy money and a good idea. This isn't financial advice, by the way. We're not responsible for how you spend money. Don't if you have billions of dollars, don't do that. Give that to us instead.
invest in super despair world. I think it's really going to take off in the next couple
Yeah, we're
months.
gonna make some NFTs and a cryptocurrency, despair coin.
Yeah, I feel like despairing already.
Yeah, you're gonna use it to buy tokens for suicide booths in international waters.
I think they call those submarines nowadays.
But yeah,
topical joke.
Hey.
But yeah, looking back, like this ephemeral value, I think that's another element of like why these like crypto NFT guys also really like Elon Musk, because like the whole thing about Musk is like he's more of a brand than a person. Like the whole, like he buys all these companies and people are like, oh man, he's like such a super genius. This is going to be like the next big thing. But like, that's just like a carefully cultivated image that he spent a lot of PR money on.
I mean,
and it's the same with guys like Trump or something. Like, it's just a name that people look up to, but it's not actually worth much in like real material terms.
If you have billions of dollars, it's like harder to lose that money than it is to make more money. Which is why when you see dudes like Donald Trump or Elon Musk who like have all this money and they just lose fuck tons, it's just like, if you and to be clear, I don't know shit about finance or business or anything like that, but I do know enough that like if you're losing tens of billions of dollars in any situation, you are a bad businessman, you're bad with finance, and you're a fucking idiot. All you have to do, you would be better off putting that money in a fucking low yield like Charles Schwab account. This podcast is sponsored by Charles Schwab, by the way.
Yes, of course.
And just sitting there and doing nothing than like trying to invest in like stupid shit like fucking Twitter and like Trump's buying like steak companies and stupid shit like that.
Trump lost money on a casino, a fucking casino.
How do you lose money on a casino? It's
literally a vice where people just like burn like their entire life savings for like a hit of dopamine.
It's like losing money on selling crack. Like this business, it sells itself. You don't have to do anything. How did you fuck this up so bad? It's
I just keep running into these really discerning like crack addicts. They only want that premium stuff. They're taking their money elsewhere and voting with their wallets.
It's insane. And I think it brings it back to like these are the people that these like wannabe hustle guys worship. And it's just like, if you knew, well, I mean, I guess that's why you're worshiping Elon Musk and Donald Trump and Andrew Tate, because you don't know shit about making money or business or like anything like that. Which, I mean, I guess that brings us to the other brand of blue check type.
That is another.
Yeah, is the Tate type person, where it's more of a, well, I mean, I guess it's not more of a personality. It's just more. It's a different expression of that personality, which they're all kind of the same at the same time. It's like a projection of like, I'm an alpha male. I do business and I don't give a fuck. And like, we're gonna make fucking money, baby, and here's how you do it. And so I did see the Andrew Tate like Hustlers Academy thing, what he talks about, and of course it's all of the bullshit. Like it's all of the grift that you would expect from which to be clear, he did not start that. This has been going on the internet for well over 10 years. I mean, you look at guys like fucking Timothy Ferriss. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, so he wrote the 4-Hour Work Week, which was like this thing of like, here's how you get rich by just working 4 hours a week. And it's that would actually be a good like, we could spend a whole episode on that one because I fucking hate this guy. He was He was an early iteration of Tate without all the human trafficking shit behind it, and without the
performativity behind it.
Yes, exactly.
That was Tate's real talent, his ability to like suck up a lot of attention in a very short span of time.
well, that's the thing. And Timothy Ferris is he is a grifter. I will just say that out of the gate. But he appealed more to just like disillusioned millennial liberal types, whereas Andrew Tate is more for like disillusioned Zoomer incel types. But it's all the same bullshit. And Tate's Hustler Academy thing was he's like, yeah, we're gonna make money. What color is your Bugatti? We're gonna be fucking alpha males. How do you do that? Get money. It's like drop shipping, NFTs and crypto. I forget what other things in there, but like drop shipping and NFTs and crypto are the two like just base scam. Like if you just want to like scam money, that's what you do. That's basically it.
Yeah, when we talk about like the crypto guys, that in itself was kind of like a hustle as well, because they had this idea of going into it like, oh, it's just going to be easy money for low effort, and then I'm going to be rich and I can do whatever I want. But there is like kind of separate from that, there's like a unique category of like entrepreneur, like always like having a side hustle. I just all about the money, these like finance type of guys.
Yeah, for sure.
And for them, it's like there's nothing else. The pursuit of wealth and making the number get bigger is like the entire like purpose of life by itself. Like even when you look at somebody like Andrew Tate and like, yeah, there's this whole like element of like rampant misogyny too, and like he went to jail for like sex trafficking and all that, and like, yeah,
big Romania W, by the way. Let's go Romania.
Rare Romania W. For once, I am proud of my home country.
I salute. At the end of this episode, we'll play the Romanian national anthem.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's do that. This show is brought to you by the country of Romania. And Jerry's Pizza specifically.
Okay, there we go.
Eat Jerry's Pizza.
Eat Jerry's Pizza and go to Romania. Let's fucking go.
Yeah. Where was I? Right. I was talking about the finance type of guys where like, yeah, there's an element of like, yeah, they want to have like women as props. Like Tate was known for hiring like sex workers to just like pose next to him in videos and all that. But all
so
of that is
transparent, like, unless you've like had sex with somebody ever in your life, which is fucking hilarious.
Right.
And also so sad. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I was getting to that with when I say the pursuit of wealth by itself is more important to them than anything else, and I think Tate is a good example of this because he presents himself as this like the peak like macho like masculine like sex figure, but like this is like the most sexless man I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
I don't think he even likes women. That's
the thing is like my only it's probably a not an even split of like people I'm interacting with online who are tangential to any of this bullshit, but I have never not once in my entire terminally online existence seen a chick who was like, he's so fucking hot, I want to fuck him. It was all just like 19-year-old dudes like, that's a real man right there, fuck yeah, like, you don't like him, it's cause you're beta, what color is your Bugatti, haha.
Yeah, that's kind of like an element of like machismo in general, right? Like a lot of the things these guys do that's like allegedly to impress women, it's like, no, it's not. This is to impress other guys.
Yeah. I kind of noticed that too with like gym bros, is these guys are just like, they're just like in the gym every day, and it's like, I've never seen a girl just be like, God damn, that guy's lats are just like fucking fire. But I will see these. I will see these guys.
It turns out that when women go to the gym, they just want to exercise most of the time.
Yeah. But I just mean like these guys, like they spend all their time in the gym, and then they go to the club and like they're like dancing by themselves at like 3:30 a.m. with like a gin and diet tonic. And just everybody else is having a good time, and they're just like, yeah, my lats really look fucking good right now.
Yeah, that's what happens when you dump all your points into strength.
True, exactly. There's no charisma points. You got dump it all into charisma. That's what I did.
Yeah, exactly. And going back to Andrew Tate, like there's this whole like culture of people that want to be like him, but the thing is, a lot of it, like we said, it's based on this like very ephemeral idea of value, because they want to pursue money and wealth, but like a lot of the things they invest in, it's all like bullshit. It's all like speculative stuff, like like it's worth something because people believe it's worth something. Right. Like when you get into this like whole cottage industry of like people selling you master courses, like private courses on here's how you can be like a real hustler like me. It's like those people don't know anything else. Like the only thing you get from those courses is, okay, now you know how to also make your own bullshit course like that. And exactly. People more gullible than you.
And that's the thing. All the people like buy my course to find out how to be rich. They make their money off of a course to tell people how to be rich. And my dad even said this, like back in the day. My dad used to listen to Rush Limbaugh. He's a smart guy in certain aspects, but let's just leave it at that. And he was like, If it was that, because like, you know, you'd see on TV in like the early 2000s, like, do you want to be rich like me? Just order my course. Like this was pre-internet. And my dad was always like, if they knew the secret to being rich, why would they share it with people? Like it doesn't make sense.
This is something I've tried to tell my mother a lot, because in the wake of COVID, even the most like old ass like normie people ever alive are like terminally online now. And don't get me wrong, I love my mom, but she spends way too much time scrolling TikTok, and she'll regularly send me these videos like, here's this secret to making easy money. Just work like 2 hours a week and you can make $10,000. Whoa.
That's it.
And she never seems to realize that in the course of like sending me like dozens of these videos, like, oh, these are all completely different people on TikTok, and yet it seems they're all following the exact same script. I could almost quote it offhand, but I told her to stop sending me that shit a few weeks ago. This is what I've told her too. It's like, if these people are so wealthy, why are they eager to like give away the secret of wealth? Do you think all of them are just like so good natured and pure that they want everyone else to succeed? No, this is how they make their money.
Oh, exactly. And this is slightly unrelated, but also not unrelated. But I've been seeing a lot of ads for like DoorDash and shit now, where they always try to paint it as, I mean, the gig economy is a whole nother thing that we could get into later, but they always try to paint it as like, you could make so much money and make your own hours and all this type of shit. I tried DoorDash once, just out of morbid curiosity. It is a fucking joke, dude. Like maybe if you live in a big city and you like ride a bike or a motorcycle, like it could be viable, but like for 99% of North America, just spread out as it is, just like, no, dude, you're driving like fucking 25 minutes to like some fucking bullshit restaurant, and like and then you drive another like 15 minutes in the opposite direction to like drop off something, you get like $15. Like and then you're just paying, like it's complete bullshit. Like it sounds cool, but unfortunately the reality of these things are not the way that they're advertised, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it's only ever getting worse all the time, too, because the reason a lot of those delivery services really took off was because there were just a bunch of like big venture capitalists that poured a shit ton of money into it for a little bit of time. It didn't have to be profitable. It only existed to like put the taxi companies and other shit out of business.
100%.
Now nobody's unionized or like is a proper employee anymore. It's just gig economy stuff where you're not connected to anybody else.
Yeah, and ride sharing was uniquely well situated for that, because taxis fucking sucked before that, and then they were like, here's an alternative to taxis, and then they made like a somehow an even shittier version of taxis.
Yeah, gig economy stuff, ride sharing, like Airbnb, all of that is just a scam. It's all just held up by this like artificial value, this idea that, oh, it's just going to be quick and easy, but it never is. And I think a big element of why Twitter feels like it's just going to the pits nowadays is like, it seems like the novelty is wearing off, and it seems like less people are buying into this.
Yeah. Exactly. And like I said, like even from my personal perspective on this, is I'm just not having fun on social media anymore. And it's not like a man, I gotta stop drinking because I get hungover because I'm hungover today. It's just like it's like you crack open a beer and you drink it and it's just like, this fucking sucks. Like, this is gross. I don't want to do this.
Yeah, there was a period in my college years where I was just hooked on energy drinks like 24/7, and the first couple are great because it's like, oh, I can do this. This is like my form of medication to deal with my ADHD. I feel wide awake and wonderful, and everything's great. I'm getting shit done. I feel alive. And then like a week later, it's like, oh, I'm drinking like 3 of these just to feel normal now.
Yeah.
That's what Twitter feels like nowadays.
Yeah. Well, I know that was an analogy, but you have to upgrade to meth and coke now.
Yeah. Well, you know, if you want to fund my burgeoning coke addiction, just stay invested in this show.
You heard it here, folks.
Tune in to like, favorite,
folks.
Comment, subscribe, follow, share Super Despair World, and I will descend into the depths of addiction.
I mean, yeah, like who wouldn't want to watch like a social media public podcast situation just unfurl into addiction and despair? Like, this is what this could be for you guys, and you're gonna turn it down? Come on.
I'm just saying, all the best podcasters are on something. So like, help us afford that. Help us pay the bills and feed our habits.
see that's a thing. Like, it's another unfair thing about the world is like, you need to have money to make money. The same, like, you need an endless supply of stimulants to make a good podcast.
Yeah, and you know, I'm glad you brought that up, because the whole thing about you need to have money to make money, that's a core element of these like grifter types, right? Because most of the people that walked away making a lot of bank off like the crypto NFT stuff, they're people who are already like independently wealthy, and they can afford to burn some money on like risky ventures, and like sometimes it'll pay off. But, you know, if you're not one of those people, if you're just some loser paying $8 a month for a blue check mark, maybe you don't have anything else, and you'll be like suckered into this false promise of wealth that 9 times, maybe 99 times out of 100, it's just not going to work out for you.
Yeah. And like, a lot of them were involved in pump and dump schemes, which you need millions of dollars to pull that off correctly, and that's exactly it. But these people, they sell their hangers on a false bill of goods, and they think that they could be a part of this cool thing that these guys are doing, and they're not, and like they're not going to, like, they don't give a shit about you, and that's kind of a reflection of content creators as a whole, but especially so for the type of people whose content revolves around like grifting and encouraging FOMO and making people feel like anxious about what they're doing. Like, what, it's all of the creators who are like, you should be making money right now. Here's 8 ways to do it. And you watch this video and it's just like, there's no content whatsoever. There's no content. It's just like, you could be making hundreds of thousands of dollars a day if you follow these 8 steps. And the steps are like, make a business that sells things. Step 2, invest in yourself. And it's just
Yeah,
like, dude,
like-
shut the fuck up, man. Like, oh God, it's such bullshit.
Yeah, damn, Dave. It's almost like the more we talk about this, the more it seems like the internet is just a bunch of like scams feeding into other scams.
Yeah, phone bad. I'm throwing mine
Phone
into the
bad,
into the
computer
ocean right now.
bad, keyboard bad, Discord bad,
this
podcast good.
Yeah, podcast good.
Podcast good. Listen to more podcasts.
Yeah, we're gonna put this on the AM radio pretty soon, and then you won't even need a. We're gonna start a pirate radio station, but where answer the poll below as to where you are, and we'll prop up a pirate AM radio station there. Start a commune.
We're gonna be like the Howard Stern for like mentally ill puppy girls on Twitter and polycules.
That sounds good. We'll just get him in here with like a mechanical vibrator and just like say like really creepy shit to them.
I did not need the mental image of Howard Stern sitting on a Sibian, but thanks.
No,
for that.
it's the puppy girl. Wait, there's something that bothers me about the term puppy girls. Like, I don't know, cat girls hot, puppy girls. I don't know.
So this is kind of tangential to what we're talking about, but if you want my hot take, the whole puppy girl thing is mostly because like there was like the cat girl thing, like the anime influenced, like, oh, it's a cute little kitty girl, she's got like kitty ears and she's wearing a maid dress and all that.
Gotcha.
But the thing is, nothing good can last in the hands of like bottoms on the internet, and a lot of these people, a lot of these very subby people were like, yeah, cats are nice and all, but like I need to be represented by an even stupider animal.
Oh, okay.
And that's where the puppy girls come in, because it's like it's even more than the cat girls. It's like no thoughts, head empty. I'm just here to be used and post things on Twitter, and I don't know. I'm wary to use too harsh language because like half my Twitter feed is dominated by people like this.
By
and
puppy
I think
girls?
It's fascinating. Specifically the kind that make like very interesting and explicit artwork.
Okay, so
but maybe
so cats are too catty, and so we need to move to puppy girls because they're dumb and docile.
I mean, cats are like they're kind of independent, right? Like they think they're better than you. They think they're smarter than humans. Whereas like puppy girls, it's like they want to be like dominated. That's their place, just like eating food out of the bowl on the floor.
I mean, listen. I just scooped the cats in this apartment. I just scooped their shit today. So, like, who's the real sucker today? I came home early so I could feed them, and then I scooped shit out of a fucking bucket and, like, inhaled silica dust. They're kind of winning. But then again, like, dogs, you got to pick up their shit, too, and feed them out of a bowl. I think humans are just, like, we're just the idiots here.
I mean, the other day I unprivated my Twitter account just to post that I hope that the new non-binary character in Overwatch has a big meaty hog. So I guess I'm scooping the shit as well in a different sense.
How's that been going so far? Did you get any?
I got two likes.
Oh,
I got 2 likes.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and 1 retweet. Oh man, this is doing numbers.
Oh,
this is why we're starting the podcast,
Holy
folks.
shit.
I want more likes on my little inane tweets about Overwatch.
I would if we got enough clout for me to post inflammatory shit and get engagement, I would take my Twitter account out of retirement.
Yeah, we'll look into it. The future is bright, and I believe that life is long.
I'll even get a fucking
happen.
blue check. I'll even do it. I'll do it, and then we'll start a side podcast about like hustle culture.
Yeah, tune in now to get your place in the line for our master course on starting a great podcast.
Yeah, wake up at 4 a.m., eat a handful of gravel, take a cold shower.
Give us $40 to join our Discord server.
Yeah, $40 for the Discord server. Smash your balls with a hammer. Next stop, Bugatti. That's it. That's all you got to do.
And
it's that simple, but you just don't want to do it. You don't want to do it.
Yeah, and you know what? Speaking of Bugattis, I wanna let's move things along to like the last type of guy I want to talk about, because so far we've talked about like this idea,
the final boss,
the final guy of Twitter. So we've talked about this idea of like an ephemeral sort of value, like and the pursuit of wealth and money and making the line go up. And you know, in a weird roundabout way, I can almost kind of like respect those people for the honesty of it, because it's like, yeah, everybody likes money. Like money makes your life easier. You can afford to have nice things, but
things and stuff are good sometimes.
I like stuff. Some of my favorite things are stuff.
Same. Yeah, we have that in common.
Yeah, but there's another type of guy which is not solely motivated by money, and it's I want to move into the manosphere type guys. Ooh. And now like Andrew Tate is like kind of one of these as well, but like when we talk about the manosphere type of guys, I'm talking like there's a whole like cottage industry of like content for like lonely, doesn't quite have their shit together type of guys on the internet, and it's like there are all these like master courses and YouTube channels and like Twitter figures who are there to like sell something that isn't just like money or a product, but it's like they're there to sell a certain image that like you could aspire to. Yeah,
so and talking about guys with anime PFPs.
You know, I want to get into those, but it's a bit late, and that is like a deep, dark abyss all its own. So we might have to save the anime profile pics.
We're gonna
for another time.
Yeah, we're gonna table anime PFPs and PFPs of like Greek and Roman statues, because there's a lot to be said about them.
I think the Roman statue bust type guys, they're a little closer to what I'm talking about now, where it's like it's not just about the pursuit of wealth, but it's about this idea of like, oh, we're here to own the libs, right? We're here to like wage this culture war, and by spending $8, we are funding this like free speech battle and reclaiming Twitter. And like these are some of the most annoying and inflammatory like blue check idiots you'll see at the top of every feed nowadays.
True. Yeah, these are the true warriors of the internet. In like I almost respect them in the sense that they are not in there for like the fame or the money. They're there to just own the goddamn libs. Like, fuck, man, they're out there transing our youth. They're out there doing communist shit.
Out there,
Taylor Swift has a dick.
Funko Pops.
Yeah, people aren't acknowledging that Taylor Swift's dick is out.
Wait, she has a dick? Oh shit, I might be a Swiftie now. Tune into Super Despair World, the #1 upcoming Swiftie podcast.
No, there's a lot of those guys that are totally into that, like they're the weird like superimposing like lines and shit over people, and they're like, yeah, like Taylor Swift, definitely a dude. You can tell by the angle of her shoulders and shit like that.
Oh, the transvestigators.
The transvestigate, like numerology for incels and transphobes, like that type of shit. Where those guys, those guys are fucking awesome. Like they're so interesting because you are totally staring into the abyss on that one.
It is a very schizoid type of brainworm that infects a certain type of guy.
100%.
And yeah, I'm just thinking about this, like in terms of like they're obsessed with this idea of like a culture war, right? And there's kind of a culture war going on, but these are like Elon Musk's like top foot soldiers, where it's like, no, it's not about the money. It doesn't matter that advertisers are pulling out of Twitter because this is like the last bastion of free speech.
Oh yeah,
we need to own the libs. We need to keep posting. We need to get them mad. And are you triggered? Are you offended?
What is there to say? The woke brain virus, or the woke brain? Yeah,
the woke mind.
The woke
virus,
mind virus. Yeah.
Which Musk got really into when his like trans daughter like disowned him.
yeah And that's like, why else would you disown the worst person in the world? It's gotta be the woke mind virus. God, fucking Anthony Fauci and fucking 5G, man. That's what happened. God damn.
Yeah, I mean, The only thing, I mean, we can't hate the 5G towers because like that's how our podcast is getting put out there. But
yeah,
of course,
it's
what
turning
makes
you
them so
trans,
mad.
but you're also getting to listen to the greatest podcast ever made. So it's fair. It's fair. It balances.
Yeah,
out.
I think we've got a good product here. I think people should invest early. This is financial advice, by the way.
Yeah.
Invest.
This is financial advice. We are licensed.
Great video, by the way. That the Folding Ideas guy, he does really good documentaries.
Oh yeah, for sure. That was definitely in the back of my mind. When
part of that is like with that in mind, that was part of the reason I was a little hesitant to talk about the crypto people in general, because it feels like, okay, everything that needs to be said about the NFT people has already been said at this point. But I think the anti-woke mind virus that fuels a lot of it is still very alive and well, and you really see it in these types of people who aren't even interested in the money. They're just interested in owning the libs. They live for war and conflict. They're like orcs, but a lot more like lanky and awkward and covered in acne, and like
they're just fucking mad, and I don't think they know what they're mad at. Which like fair, but like your life doesn't suck because Hollywood is woke and there's trans people and like in shit. Like your life sucks because of fucking capitalism and like people like Elon Musk. I hate to say it. It would be easier if it was because, well, I don't know. Yeah, it probably would. If all you had to do was just like just yell at trans people in the streets, that would probably be easier. But yeah, unfortunately it's kind of systemic, and it's kind of like it has to do with class and money and shit like that. It's not because
I would
had a gay person.
I would take being yelled at in the street, because even then I can get some like weird, like sick gratification out of it. Like, oh, at least somebody thinks of me as like an attractive piece of meat, right? But you don't even get that on Twitter. It's like we said earlier, this is like Twitter nowadays is the dark side of the algorithm, where it's not showing you more of stuff you like. It's just showing you more stuff to get you mad. And everybody on Twitter is mad, both like the blue check guys and like normal people like us.
Yeah, which is why it's just tiring. And then like kind of the final death knell for Twitter is like, I don't know, man. I'm in like Discords and shit. Like people share Twitter links, and like I click on them. It's just like, you're like being funny on Twitter. Like it's kind of over. Like it's not fun anymore. Like just
it's never been more over.
Yeah. Like shit posting on Twitter, it used to kind of be funny, even though it's kind of like, if you're like a professional Twitter poster, like maybe get a fucking job or something. But now it's just like, okay, cool, funny post. Funny me, like this is a dying platform. It fucking sucks, and you're like trying to hold on to this like dead platform. I don't know. It's kind of pathetic to me, honestly. I just can't get into it. I can't even laugh at these, even though I'm like, yeah, that's like objectively funny, but like it's kind of just lame that you're posting this on Twitter. Like, fucking move on, I guess. I don't know.
Twitter nowadays, like it's fueled entirely by rage and spreading rage. But like the thing is, when normal people like you and I have enough of our rage, we just like, we get burnt out and we lose interest and we move on. Mm-hmm. And you kind of see this in a lot of the metrics where like, yeah, a lot of people are just like using Twitter less. They've stopped logging in.
Yeah.
On my own Twitter account, I mostly just follow other artists, and it's like, oh yeah, like half the people I used to follow just like fucked off to other platforms now, or they don't post as regularly,
right,
or when they do post, they're always asking to follow them somewhere else, and that's the right response.
Yeah.
But the thing about Twitter that makes it kind of unique here is that it's not just fueled by rage, but it appeals to a type of person who has like a boundless amount of rage, which is never going to be quelled.
Yeah.
Like, I get angry when I see like some dipshits on my feed, and it's like, oh, okay, I just read another stupid opinion, time to scroll and move on. But like, that doesn't compare to the like endless like stream of misery that somebody like Elon Musk feels when he considers that like, oh, my wife left me and my children want nothing to do with me and everybody thinks I'm a big fucking moron now, which is true.
But the thing is, that particular aspect of Twitter has always been true. Which is why, like, Twitter, even though it's completely different now, and it's way worse now, and like, absolutely, it was objectively better before, but like, that was still Twitter before Elon. Like, it was still just terminally cannot log off, looking for rage bait, can't stop replying to just stupid fucking bullshit by other people who can't log off and just have to make their dog shit opinions known at all times. Just zero thought to everything. Just people spraying fucking tweet diarrhea out of their ass onto this garbage platform. And Twitter was always garbage, man. I'm sorry. I know people think about Twitter fondly, and it was like, I will capitulate to the fact that it was cool for like artists, especially artists and like musicians and creatives and shit like that. But just like fucking personalities on Twitter, fuck you. Like, I do not mourn the loss of your platform for you to like make like lay edgy tweet or like just like reply to people and just like have the fucking worst toilet take ever. The world is better off without that shit. Fuck off.
Yeah, I've never liked quote unquote influencers, but I have a special place in my heart, like full of scorn for people who are influencers and they're not known for doing anything other than posting tweets. And they still manage to show up on my feed constantly, though I don't even follow them.
Yeah. They are the Twitter equivalent of like the TikToker who like is some like 19-year-old white girl that has like the TTS caption. It's like, when your boyfriend doesn't come to dinner on time, and like she's like angrily lip syncing like a fucking angry like Imagine Dragons song and shit like that. Those people are no different than her. Like they're no different than that. It is bottom barrel, low effort. Can you relate to this bullshit? Fuck you. You do not add any value to the world. People just hit like because you engaged their fucking monkey brain, and there's nothing else.
Those people were already the bottom of the barrel, but then you have to like crack the bottom of the barrel open and start digging through the ground to get to the blue check Twitter guys. Because when we talk about like the notorious Twitter posters of the old before times, like that's what the blue check marks aspire to be.
Right.
That's all that they could ever hope for. And it's not even going to be that. We were talking about, like, I agree with you that Twitter was never good. And you know what? I've always been a pessimist about social media in general. And it's like, yeah, to a degree, every social media site is fueled by like rage clicks or like sensational bullshit to keep you around longer. But I feel like Twitter right now is like, it's kind of like the epicenter. It feels like this feels like the crux of a moment where things are about to change. I feel like people are getting sick of it. I think the old internet as we know it is dying. And like all these sites have been getting gradually worse over time, but it really took like an exceptional dipshit like Elon Musk to like ruin the arguably most well-liked site for at least a while and do it so quickly and so spectacularly that like, I think we've just accelerated to this endpoint, and I don't know what's going to come after, but I feel like the age of the internet social media giants has to be dying, because like this is all it is. It's only just going to be this, but worse from now on.
I 100% agree with you, and a lot of people are like doomer about that, but I think it's fucking great, man. Like the internet was better in like 2002. Like I will fully like you couldn't get as much reach
in some ways.
in some ways, I guess, but it's I mean, ironically, maybe the worst person in the world encouraged the end of what has sucked for like the past 15 years. And maybe it's going to be a new era of decentralized greatness. Now I'm going to put on my my hacker man glasses. We'll all jump on Telegram and we'll trade Tor links to the dark web.
I mean, I strongly believe that things definitely have to get worse before they get better. And man, have they gotten a lot worse this past year.
Very quickly.
I looked a little bit into some of these decentralized alternatives like Mastodon and stuff. And admittedly, it's been an interesting experience because in some ways it is a lot like Twitter, but without like a lot of the contention and the conflict. Like people just, if you find the right like Mastodon instance, people just get along and talk about things they like. And I've noticed like, oh yeah, that's why nobody's fucking on there, because people have gotten used to the shit. People want the conflict and the rage. And I'm like, I don't know how we get better about this as like people on the internet.
Fuck them. You want that? Go punch yourself in the balls in your room. Fuck you. Like that is actually the thing that I like. In it's not like there weren't like people being shitty to each other on the old internet, but like no, that like I kind of like that. Where just, like maybe hot take, maybe we aren't all meant to be in the same fucking place at the same time. Like maybe we should have our own little spaces where we don't need to deal with people. Like if you're in the fucking tech or whatever, music or whatever, you go in your own little thing. And then if you're a fucking Nazi, just go on Stormfront and you can have your incel rants with each other all the time, and I don't need to fucking hear it.
Or you know what, better yet, maybe go into a bunker and follow your leader.
Yeah. There you go. Just do exactly what he did in his autobiography. Just act it out. Act it out as well as you possibly can. You're not going to be able to invade Poland, but at the end of the book, you could probably pull that off pretty well. And
right now, all the fucking Hearts of Iron 4 nerds are pushing up their sunglasses and going, well, actually, if I was in charge, things would be quite different.
Actually, I have analyzed his strategic plan in Poland, and I think I know where he went wrong. It's like, yeah, fast forward to the end of the book, please. Fast forward to the end. You got this, buddy. You got this. Just really do it this time. Don't flee to Argentina.
Exactly. Like I said, I do think this is something I've struggled with myself because, you know, I have been on Mastodon for a bit and I have found cool little instances where people talk about like their tabletop RPGs that they really like, or like instances just entirely made up of other artists posting their stuff. And I don't know, it feels like I'm an addict and I have to wean off like the thrill of like how shitty Twitter is, because like these other sites, they are less eventful. But you know what? Maybe that's better for us. Maybe we just need these smaller websites where we're all 100%. Less connected and we can all just listen to our like force feminizing podcasts in peace.
Yeah, for sure. And put one like toxic piece of shit in there just so you can focus your rage on one person. Like that's why bullying. That's what
the old internet was like too.
Yeah,
like
you
every
just have one person you bully, and they'll just sit there and take it.
Every internet forum had some like dipshit that like nobody actually likes, but like you can't really ban them because they have like 11,000 posts and it would be like a whole thing.
Right. And they are actually part of the community. It's just like they fucking suck. And then you can just focus all of your fucking rage on them. Like that's healthy. That's healthy. It's like the jester in the king's court, and everybody, you could just throw tomatoes and like onions at them and just like kick them in the face and shit like that. It's like you just take No, I don't think I don't think that's how jesters worked. But
no, it was actually the opposite. It was like they had the whole thing. I think it was called Jester's Privilege, where it was like, oh yeah, the jester can say and do whatever they
you're
want.
right.
Because they're like a funny little guy, and like,
so you could,
they
like,
can dance around,
punch the king in his balls, and like touch his fucking nipples. Well,
it was more like they could make jokes about the king being like a cuckold, and like, oh, he just has to laugh it off, because if he acts negatively, then people are gonna think it's true. Yeah. So that's truly like the most based position in the that's what I aspire to be. I think that's just like the end goal of every podcaster.
to just be a jester.
To just be like a funny little guy on the internet.
I was thinking more in a literal sense. Like, you go, who's the king in England now? Fucking Charles or whatever other inbred person there.
I don't know. They're all. I can't really tell British people apart.
Yeah, they're fucking inhuman. Like, honestly, just kidding, British listeners. We love you. But yeah, you just go and like hang out with him and just like call him like an ugly inbred cuck piece of shit all day, and he's just like has to laugh. That would be so fucking cool. All right, that's my dream job.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, the British monarchy is not that cool anymore. If anything, I think they're very like dour and serious all the time.
Yeah, for sure. But I would still like to just like get paid to ridicule them all day. But in a direct
I don't know
sense,
who it was.
Not to be on like BBC 7 and like, oh, the king is not very funny.
It's a shame we're starting the show now, because like I feel like if we started this like a year ago, we could have had a really good episode on just like the week of insanity after the Queen died, and like God. They shut down all the channels and everything. It was nuts, dude. It felt like just a real bit of culture shock. I will never understand the UK.
What a silly country. Imagine giving a shit. Like, just they should all just be killed and just end it. Like, if all of just kidding. We shouldn't do that. May they live forever.
People shouldn't do that. They should subscribe to our show to prove that they're one of the good ones.
Yeah, exactly. But just hypothetically, if the entire royal family died, would they just like kind of get rid of that and just stop doing all that shit? Something to think about. Also, if you need to buy like 700 tons of fertilizer, that's also something to think about.
You're appealing to our Irish listeners, I see.
Sláinte.
Yeah, not to make this a whole thing about the Queen, but honestly, she had so much prestige. I feel like everyone after her is just going to be like some old miserable fuck that nobody like actually likes. So I think we're going to see the long, slow death of the monarchy, hopefully within the lifespan of this podcast, and that'll be great content for a future episode.
Inshallah. May she rest in peace. Goodbye.
Absolutely. I feel like this was a good little sample platter of all the different types of guys on Twitter. But I'm kind of tired of talking about weird little guys at this point.
Yep.
Yeah, I think let's wrap it up there. And we wanted to talk about the anime profile pic guys, but I think that's going to be the content of a future episode. That is those are the worst of the worst, if you ask me.
I think it seems like a quick aside, but I think there's a lot to say about them, because we could say a lot about society by just analyzing anime profile picture guys.
We could say a lot about society and how Japan is like the ideal society with no problems at all, and everyone should aspire to be.
Exactly. My sister's in Japan right now, so maybe she'll. I did live there briefly, but maybe I haven't been there in ages, so maybe she'll have something to say. She said I think she's just going to visit, but she said she was going to do what needed to be done about some guy named Shinzo Abe, and she was like wrapping some steel pipes with duct tape. I don't know what that was about, but we'll see what we'll see what happens when.
That sounds like a crazy story, Dave. You'll have to tell me all about it later.
Yeah. we'll see. We'll see what that was about.
Maybe if people invest, we'll go on our own trip to Japan for research, and not just because I want to spend a week or two in Japan. It'll be good content for this show.
Yeah. We'll start the GoFundMe now. to dig deep.
Yeah, we'll set up our own 5G towers there and start spreading our viewership to Japan. We'll get some Japanese fans.
Yeah. Ganbate.
You know what? Ganbate, yes. Let's wrap it up there. You know what? We hope you enjoyed this first episode. If you're still here and listening, if you like what we've put out, you can do all the usual bullshit. You can like, comment, and subscribe. But honestly, at this point, we're kind of doing a test run with these first couple episodes. So if you really want to help out the show, the number one thing you can do right now is just tell other people about us. Just share the link around, get other people on board, and we can all wallow in the despair together.
Yeah, you have the chance to be in on the ground floor right now. So if you tell your grandma about this, like, who knows? You could be able to tell somebody someday, hey, I heard the first episode. I told my grandma about it. Or
if you're one of those first few people who drops a comment below, who knows? I might like heart it or pin the comment or something, or reply to it, and you'll feel like nice and warm and like parasocial inside, and you'll get the attention you crave from your like weird little podcast mommy, and it'll be wonderful.
Yeah, exactly. You could feel loved for the first time in your life. Imagine
that's what our show has that other podcasts don't. We make it with love, and that's the real difference.
Yeah, I personally guarantee that anybody who likes this podcast, I will actually be legitimate friends with you. As far as episode 2, 3, no guarantees, but 1, we'll
podcasting is really hard, but with the power of friendship, and it is going to be a real friendship if you follow us at this point, anything is possible.
Yeah, anything is possible. Imagine that. Also, buy our NFT.
Invest in Despair Coin now. I gotta finish drawing these little NFT profiles.
Yeah. It's on OpenSea? Is that the? It's somewhere. It's wherever fine NFTs are sold. Walmart, Kmart, H Mart. All the marts.
Yeah.
All right.
Wonderful.
Well, yeah.
All right. Thanks for listening.
It's been real. Good fight. Good night.
Good night.